So I just watched both of the streams that JC and Jason Blundell did, and they sort of inspired me to come on here and talk about how zombies has really entered another dark age. It really reminds me of the gap between Black Ops 2 and 3 where zombies was just directionless and starving for content. Up until that point, zombies was constantly evolving and introducing new ideas. There's a clear evolutionary trail you can follow from Narked to Dare East. Perks, traps, the announcer, the characters, Pack-a-Punch, the Wunderwaffe, Hellhounds, and we see it again in Black Ops 1. They kept innovating. Some would argue they played it safe, but if you actually go back and look at how people were reacting to the new maps, you'd see that they actually tried a lot of new things in Black Ops 1. They continued to innovate with new perks and new zombie types. Easter eggs became a thing in every map from Ascension onwards. We blow up the Earth at the end of Moon. I mean, they just knew how to make it work. But then you get to Black Ops 2 and then you see they sort of start to slip there. I mean, just picture yourself in that scenario. You're like, oh man, Black Ops 1 had this cool stuff, man. The Thunder Gun, 5, where you get to play as President Kennedy. And then, this map Ascension with this like Easter egg where you spell out Luna with the Luna landers. And then Shangri-La, like you have these guys that are like stuck in a cave. And it's in like an ancient temple. And Call of the Dead, you get to play as Danny Trejo. You get to play as Michael Rooker. And then you get to Black Ops 2 and it's just like, huh? They deviated too much from what made zombies zombies. And as a result, this is when you first started seeing people share the sentiment of, oh, this game is kind of shit. Let's go back and... You guys want to go back and play Black Ops 1? You guys want to go back and play World at War? And yes, people did eventually warm up to it because we got Mob of the Dead and we got Origins. And so Black Ops 2 is just this weird game where it has some of the worst maps, but then it has some of the best maps. And we see it's lived on and retained some of its good rep. But after that, everything went to shit when Activision made the other studios start making their own zombies-esque modes. And as a result, we entered the first Dark Age. Between Black Ops 2 and 3, we got COD Ghosts and Advanced Warfare. Extinction wasn't really anything like zombies. It was sort of episodic and no one really liked it. And then Advanced Warfare Zombies, it didn't even come on day one. You had to get it with the first DLC. So Zombies just had a 2.5 year period where it had nothing. And we were on these consoles where, at the time, backwards compatibility wasn't a thing. You couldn't play your PS3 games on a PS4. You couldn't play your 360 games on an Xbox One. And fun fact, if you're on a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4, you still can't play Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1 or World at War. You can't. So we were just there on these new consoles and everyone was playing their favorite game. But your game, our game, was nowhere to be found. Most people weren't on PC, so they couldn't play old Zombies unless they dug out their old 360 or PS3, which most of us couldn't do. So Zombies was barely being played at all. You know, some content creators moved to GTA. You couldn't find a public match on most of the maps, and even if you did, it was probably going to be with a hacker. So that was kind of the start of its first Dark Age. It was really up to the content creators who stayed to give the community some life, and the community itself tried its best too, with custom maps starting to take off a little bit. Challenge videos like 2-box challenges, rainbow perk challenges, reverse rainbow perk challenges, starting room challenges, Easter egg speed runs, and there was a whole top 5 craze. I call it a craze, but it was nothing. A lot of people who played Zombies, like me, were essentially teenagers or kids who didn't have gaming PCs, so we couldn't go and play all these cool custom maps. I know I could because I had a PC. I could play them, but most people, they just had to sit there and watch, which is just sucks, man. Like I said, everyone else was playing their favorite game, but not you. You're not playing your favorite game. You're just sitting there waiting and watching people like Dalek or NGT Zombies or Yoti Slayer, man. Rest in peace, Yoti Slayer. Just watching them play custom maps, hoping that one day you can finally get back in and play some zombies. I just remember thinking about how far away 2015 was. My God. I'm reminiscing on all this because now we're in a similar situation. The current game, Black Ops 7, not good. The old game, Black Ops 6, had a good start, but in the end, it ended up being not good. And as you keep going further back, it's just you're just gonna make it more and more niche. So we're just fucked. Like there's Cold War, which I defend. I really think Cold War was necessary, but it's mediocre, and Black Ops 4 is the worst game ever. And between all these, we still have these other studios trying to make zombies maps, but at the end of the day, they can't hold a candle to what Treyarch do. I understand. I understand that Zombies in Spaceland and Infinite Warfare had a lot going for it, but guys, can we just be honest? No one fucking cares, man. No one fucking cared about World War II zombies. No one fucking cared about Modern Warfare 3 zombies. No one fucking cared about Vanguard. No one fucking cared about Extinction. We're only here and ready to go when it's Treyarch. And Treyarch finally came back in 2015, and it was a massive hurrah. Yes, Black Ops 3 still had some problems. People, if you go back and actually look at the sentiment during Black Ops 3, you still heard people saying, this game, it's a bit too complicated. Why is the launch map so complicated? Why does the basic map, the Giant, which is just a Dare East remaster, why does that cost money? And these are all very fair and valid complaints. Black Ops 3, if it didn't have Zombies Chronicles, it would have been just a decent zombies game, but it wouldn't have been the best. The best way to develop zombies is to implement legacy features and carry over things that people like, and to pay attention to what people like and to expand on them. Black Ops 2 was going to be a massive failure, but they listened to the fans. The fans liked Mob of the Dead, and they liked Origins. So that's why every Black Ops 3 map is following the same formula, where you get the 3 shield parts and you build the wonder weapon and you do an upgrade quest. They played it very safe, very safe. Once again, if that was the game, if it was just that initial run without Zombies Chronicles, it would have been okay, but pretty mediocre. I must stress how important that is, because they don't do this anymore. You can tell by the way they develop these games now, if anything gets kept, it's not because people like it, it's because it just fits their work schedule. And also, when there is something that people like, that people have asked for a decade, like Grief, they don't bring it back. So when we get to Black Ops 4, and we had Zombies Chronicles to hold us over until Black Ops 4, so we successfully avoided a dark age. We successfully avoided it. And the World War II zombies hype was real. It was very real, but they didn't deliver. However, that hype also carried us. So we didn't have to wait that long for Black Ops 4. And then Black Ops 4 comes out and it is rubbish. Hot garbage, trash, doo-doo. It's terrible. But this time, it's not because of the maps, okay? Black Ops 2 Zombies, it still stuck to its roots, and that's why it could come back. It came back from Transit and Die Rise, and people still played Town, or they played Nuketown. There was still stuff to do in Black Ops 2, and enjoy it as a regular Zombies experience. Yes, it sucked that Transit was bad. This game was bad at its core. Its core gameplay features were terrible. They tried to change everything about zombies. So it doesn't matter if Ancient Evil is a well-made map. You still have these terrible core features that you couldn't take out of the game. Every main game would innovate and add new motifs that would last throughout the game's life cycle, while still keeping in touch with legacy features that gave zombies its identity. They didn't do that with Black Ops 4. They remembered to add new things, but instead of keeping the old things, they replaced the old things with the new things, and no one liked that. Don't sit there and tell me that you like the perk system. Don't tell me that it was a good idea to have 2 separate storylines running at the same time. I could go on, but that is just going to be its own video, because I get sick of the Black Ops 4 revisionism. Long story short, Black Ops 4 fucked it up. They fucked everything up. And the next game was Modern Warfare 2019, which didn't have zombies. Once again, nowhere to be found. But this time, we were in the Dark Ages, but we could hold on. We had Black Ops 3. You could go back and play the classic maps on Black Ops 3, which was relatively the same old zombies. You could go back and play it. The good old zombies, you could play it. And luckily for us, Cold War got pushed forward a year. And the trailers were hype. Free DLC. Juggernog was back. You could use kill streaks in zombies. Like, that was gonna be cool, man. That looked really cool. And they were merging it with the campaign. Like, you're gonna play as like a special agent underneath Weaver. That was a really, really cool and innovative idea, and it was a sort of return to form where back in the day during Black Ops 1 and World at War, there was that uncertainty, that blurred line in the story where it's like, is this like how is this related to the campaign? You could find zombies lore in the Black Ops 1 terminal where that Mason could look at, you know? And then the game comes out and there's a honeymoon period. You can finally grind camos and zombies and grind XP, so people are playing zombies. And then the honeymoon period ends, and once again that feeling came back. What the hell? What did you do? It wasn't as bad as Black Ops 4. It was still salvageable. I still enjoyed playing it. I enjoyed The Machine. I enjoyed Mauer der Toten, and I enjoyed Outbreak. Outbreak was a very good innovation. I wish it would come back. But the problems with Cold War, while not as big, they still kept us in the Dark Age. I'm sorry to say this, but Cold War was not enough. Let's say Zombies was trapped in a flood and it was going downstream. Cold War reaches out its hand and grabs on, but then their hand just slips. That was Cold War. But Cold War did have an excuse. It was rushed. They had to cover for Sledgehammer, who couldn't deliver Vanguard on time. The main problem with Cold War was the fact that the content was rushed, and therefore we had a lot of dark periods where we got nothing. Outbreak would get like, oh guys, Outbreak got a new tank. That's not enough. And the new gameplay systems they introduced, which complemented the classic systems, that's a key hint there, complemented the classic systems, Black Ops 4, they were still in their infancy. They had some kinks that had to be ironed out, but for the time being, Cold War was a step in the right direction. But then again, Activision, you had to ruin it. You had to commission zombies modes for Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3. You just had to, didn't you? You couldn't just leave Treyarch alone. This time, small crews from Treyarch would work on these modes. They wouldn't even leave it to the devs of the actual game. So we got Vanguard Zombies, which was just awful, terrible, rubbish. And Modern Warfare 3, which I will admit, it had potential to be quite an interesting extraction shooter, but for some reason, they just didn't have the PvP element in there. It could have just been a switch they flipped on. But no, they just had to ruin it and make it a PvE open world mode that just felt aimless and directionless. Dark Ages. It wasn't, Cold War was not enough. It was like an adopted child, you know. It got temporarily adopted with Cold War, but it still doesn't mask the pain of your parents dying in a car crash. So we finally get to Black Ops 6 and we get to see zombies come out swinging for the first time since 2018. We genuinely got to see zombies get a good shot at it. And man, did they try. They fucking tried, man. That Black Ops 6 launch period was great. Liberty Falls. Everyone thought Liberty Falls was going to be shit. But then they all played it. We all played it. I got top 10 in Liberty Falls. I loved it. You know what I loved? I loved how salvage was refined. Your teammates now couldn't pick up your salvage. They really went in there and they fixed all these systems. Running to an armor station to refill your armor was stupid. Let's add armor plates. Okay, that makes sense. Initially, you can save and quit now so people can finally see what round they can get to without relying on their PC not crashing or their Xbox not crashing or their PlayStation not blue screening. They had a lot of good momentum. Black Ops 6 had a good start. But then the tomb happens and that's when it all came crashing down. The zombies players just started to notice all the things that were wrong with this new way zombies was handled. Why are we using armor plating from Warzone in zombies? Why am I not able to train these zombies? Why are they reaching so far when I turn my back to them? I can't train them effectively. So now we're forced to camp in front of crafting stations and spam mangler injections and use salvage. Why is there no perk limit? Why can't I just buy every perk and just not give a fuck about have any sort of strategy to what perks I buy? Why am I able to spawn in with a rocket launcher? Why am I not getting points for shooting zombies? Why are you using AI? Why aren't the characters voiced in the tomb? Why are you reusing wonder weapons? Why is the ice staff in the tomb? Why am I able to buy max ammo? The cracks didn't start to form, they were already there. The maps are designed so poorly. There aren't any claustrophobic spaces. Go watch the Jason Blundell stream and see him talk about flow control and how ammo boxes are the dumbest idea ever. So when Black Ops 7 comes out and it's the next game right after Black Ops 6, do you think things are going to change? No. Zombies has not been zombies since Zombies Chronicles. The best thing for zombies right now is if it went away. Just go. I'm not going to take any breaks. I'm not going to pause. I'm just going to let the mic run. I'm going to speak to Kevin Drew, who I believe is the man in charge, even though there are probably people above him who tell him what to do. Kevin, you need to remember what made zombies good. You need to look into bringing forward legacy ideas that never needed to go away. And you need to build off of them. Build, innovate. We've seen you do it, and you've done it. We've seen it. We've seen you do a good job with some of these systems. And you need to bring in some people that will give it to you straight. The problem are not it's not even the shields. It's not even the people that you do invite. You can still invite them. I understand advertising, but you gotta get some people there that will tell you, no, don't do this. Please do this instead. It really upsets me. I don't feel happy about the state zombies is in. I hope it recovers. For the sake of the players, because the players, they deserve far better than this from the developers. You can't expect the community to get along if the developer treats them like shit. We just ask for things. We ask for basic things, patches. You can't... If you play Black Ops 6, people are losing their augments for launching Black Ops 6. That's all I got time for today. I'll just go in circles now. We need to just... It's a dark age. And we just got to get through this. And Treyarch, try. Please try. Because you didn't try with Black Ops 7. You did not try.